Whoa! Welcome me to Clobberin Times Wednesday night wild card. Or is it wild card Wednesday night? I get them confused sometimes. It's one of those two, though. What's up, friends? Friends and clobberers. How's it going? I'm getting me bearings here. All backed up and turned around, and I don't know where the hell I am. But I'm glad I'm with you guys. If you're going to not know where you are, be with your buds. That's the way it should work. So, and to be with the clobberers, that's good enough. At least I know I'm here. I think. Maybe. Possibly. Well. What's up, buddies? Thank you for being here tonight, my friends. If you're here, I hope you're hearing me out there. This is Welcome to Clobberin Times, issue number 308 on YouTube, 1008 overall, meaning forever and stuff, because we crossed that 1,000 mark on a wild card Wednesday night. And it is good to see you all, my friends. And, I'll say some quick hellos here before we get into the show notes and stuff. Well, after I do this, of course, I always put the wonderful works, a link to the wonderful works of my amazing second in command and my first officer and wonderful, lovely friend, R.M. Briggs, Raquel Briggs. I don't really know how to talk about it as much as she does, but I do know to put it up there for her every time that I possibly can. She is a wonderful, wonderful first officer indeed. And by the way, quick shout out to all of you who joined us Saturday night for Saturday Night Star Trek, and then, of course, who joined me Monday night for the early show I did. Just appreciate you all so much. Monday was fantastic. I'm reviewing Justice League Doom with the great Stone Loki. Had a lot of fun doing that, but having a lot of fun always doing the shows, and it's all because of you, my good friends. So, so start out the shout-outs with a shout-out to the Bronze Wrencher himself. Thank you, Bronze Wrencher. Eric K., for this $2 super chat. It says 1,000 down, 5,000 to go. I'm with that, buddy. Thank you, brother. I do appreciate you. And let's see who is here with us this evening. The great Max Redstone. Since he popped in earliest with a hello and with a limerick, we'll go there and we'll say Max Redstone starts us on Clobberin Times Wildcard Wednesday night with this limerick. Clobby and Sci-Fi like mojito and lime. I hope I said that right. Discussing all sorts of science fiction pastime. Unless expressly he starts on about Wesley, then we're guaranteed to go into overtime. That's a classic. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that, man. You're too kind. Oh, my goodness. Now, let's see who else. Let's see if we can say some hellos to all of you who are here. Tabletop Junkie. Hello there, Tabletop Junkie. Welcome. It is good to see you. I'm honored to have you here. Honored to have you all here. Let's see here. The great J-Man. What's up, brother? Can't wait to hang out with you again soon, buddy. I hope you were doing well. Hope you had a great stream earlier. I got to see a little bit of it lurking, but I didn't get to stop in and say hi. I hope it went well. Of course, and anyone who has not subscribed to J-Man yet, my friends, and his description is in my link below. Please do so. In fact, Mark D, if one of y'all, if y'all can get a chance, I don't have my other chat up at the moment. If you could put his link up there, I'd appreciate it. He did a great stream tonight comparing David Lynch Dune with the latest iteration of Dune film that came out this year. And he does a lot of great comparison shows like that and other amazing content about comics and other things. So the great J-Man, good to see you, buddy. Snortapoopas, what's up, dude? Good to see you, Snorty. D. Bud Martin, the man of iron. Great to see you there, bro. The great Chris Persia, the master of all that is French Canadian. Hello there, Double C. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. Your Muslim uncle, my good friend. Thank you for being here. It is great to see you. And, of course, the aforementioned great Chief Engineer Mark D. with a C. What's up, buddy? Pop Culture Republic. Hello. And Surly Tim. Hello there. Thank you for being here. See if I missed anybody. Make sure I haven't missed anyone. Hey, look at that. I did. Ironcaster, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. And let's see. I'm here to hang out with you guys tonight. That's what we're doing. That's what I do on an open night. J-Man says, doing great. Just powering through those Blake Sevens, man. Dude, it's a great show. I'm so glad you enjoy it, man. It tickles me no end that you and your wife are enjoying that. I cannot wait to talk. Because, look, I've been chomping at the bit to talk Blake 7 again for you. Let me tell you something about that. And I'm not even kidding. Once in a while, I've bumped into other people who are fans. Okay? But back in the late 80s, after I'd already watched every episode and a few times on my on recorded copies from the PBS affiliate, and I was running my comic shop, Mega City Comics, I had a buddy of mine that for the short time when he would come in and out of that comic shop to buy comics from me, we both had a passion for Blake 7. We both really loved it. And we talked about that show so much. I mean, everyone else thought we were probably nuts, I guess. But I had so much fun talking to him about the show. I have other friends. Hey, Hungry Boy, great to see you, buddy. Thank you for being here, my friend. I have many other friends and who, over the years are fans of the show as well. But I never really had a chance to talk about it quite on the same level as that friend of mine. Coincidentally, his name was Jason. I haven't seen him since those old days. It's been forever. But to be able to, and once in a while, I'll find someone who could talk about it. I've done a couple of shows already, year before last, I believe by now, here and there with a couple of people who knew something about it. But for the most part, I've been starving to death, starving for a chance to have someone to talk to at length about Blake 7, the same way I'm able to talk about, say, Star Trek with Raquel, for example. Or with Mark, or any of you, the way we all talked about Star Trek. See, we can all sit here and talk about Star Trek, whatever real episode of the real series, all day long. And, we do a show about it, for God's sake, and all that stuff. Steve Mitchum, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. I hope you're feeling better, buddy. And Max Redstone for a $2 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. He says, I finally have my Blake 7 top list. Fire. Hey. And I'll get right back to that in a second. So I cannot wait. Oh, let's see. J-Man says, we can certainly chat about it. I'm obsessed and I am crazy, as you know. So I'll be there. Yeah, I'm going to wait till you get to the whole series show, J-Man. Louise X Sparrow, lovely lady. It's great to see you. Thank you for being here. It's wonderful to see you pop in there. Pop Culture says, Blake 7 was a fun series to watch. Well past time for me to rewatch it. Yes. I hope you do, and let me know if you do. So I've been chomping at the bit for years and years and years. It's not like Star Trek, even Doctor Who, or any comic book that's popular, that you can always find someone who loves it as much as you. There's so many people out there that I can talk to about Star Trek. And then look, Louise says it right there. She says, I can certainly talk about Star Trek for hours. Me too. I can talk about comics. You name it, geek stuff, and some other things too, but geek stuff in particular. Well, that's why I do the show, right? So, but the one thing has been deficient in my life, it's kind of tough to find people to talk about The Prisoner with on the same level that I want to, and it's also Blake 7, and it's killed me for years. There are people who like it, and you can mention certain things about it, and they go like, I like it, but I don't remember all that stuff. And so I can't wait to get someone who wants to talk Blake 7 as much as I do, if it's possible. Ironcaster says, I have a dozen or so sci-fi shows I need to get on my list. Blake 7, The Prisoner, Voyager, Battlestar Galactica, Andromeda. I hear you, Ironcaster, you got a lot of work ahead of you there. Good stuff. But pleasurable work, of course. Yeah, I finally watched Farscape a couple of years ago, Pop Culture, and I liked it. So I wouldn't know it on a level that anyone else. I wouldn't know it on a level like I know other things, but I do like it a lot. So I know what you mean. You always want to find someone who can talk about the show with you. Canadian Spidey. Oh, okay. Well, I got you, man. I understand. Look, just good to see you, Comedian Spider-Man. You take care of yourself. Thank you for popping in, man. Buddy, it's good to see you. Um, yeah, so look, I cannot wait right now. I know some Blake Sevens fan. I never got into it, but yeah, a lot of people aren't into it. Luis, some are though. Like I said, just depends. I can't wait. Let's see. Right now, J Man's watching it, and he's doing one per night. Mark D's watched some of it, I believe. I don't know where he is now. It's not really his bag, but he likes sticking with it. He likes it. Raquel seems to be really into it right now. Last I heard, she at least once a night she lets me know something that she's on track watching it. So until Raquel gets to the end of it and Jay gets to the end of it, J Man, I'm not going to talk about it that much. At least I'm not going to do anything spoilery. So, Max Redstone, since last we spoke, because I'm so excited that now I know friends that are going to be knowing Blake Seven like I do, or at least enjoying it anywhere close to my level of how much I love it. And look, I know I'm insane over it. So, I see it, Mark D. So, Max, I went ahead and we were talking about, what I did is I made my ranking list. I'm not going to say what it is yet because it would be spoilery, but what I did is I ranked the episodes from worst to first, 52, counting down to 51. And then I put the season, what season and episode it was next to it. And I put a rating of the episode. Obviously, the top 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like the top 7 in my top 10 are rated. Since 7 is like 7, instead of making it 1 to 10, I made it 1 to 7, the rating, But the top 7 are actually 7 pluses. 8-part scoring system. That's fair. My scoring system is 1 to 7 plus. And I ranked them in order. I went through the episodes. It was brutal to put some in front of others. I switched them around a lot. And now I'm looking at my ranking right now, and there's a tendency to switch a few around here and there, but I'm going to stick to it. But I did it. And so, like my first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 7 pluses. Then you get a few 7s in the top 10. Then you get some 6 1/4, some 6 1/2, some 6s. I've ranked and rated the episodes. Ooh, doing spoilery stuff there, Hungry Boy. I see what you did there, Hungry Boy. Pop culture. His go-to list of favorite sci-fi shows are Farscape, B5, Dark Matter, Stargate, All, Space 1999 first season, Blake 7, Battlestar Galactica original, no 1980. Well, I hear you there. There are others, but those are my faves. Oh, and old Doctor Who. Well, some fine choices, and I definitely got you right there. And thank you for that, Pop Culture Republic. I always like to know what everybody's favorites, are and what they're partial to. So yeah, it's a good time right now for me. It's fun. I never thought. Let's see, maybe about a little over a year and a half ago now, when I was just getting onto YouTube, my buddy Problem Being, he's a big Blake 7 fan. He did a couple shows with me. So we don't get together that much, but he is a big fan. So now I know Lord Thoth is a fan as well, so we're going to get him on it as well. Surly Tim says, "Well, The Prisoner is right. I love The Prisoner right up there with Star Trek and Blake 7, so I love it. Getting ready to start reviewing Lost in Space and Invaders. There you go. I love the original Lost in Space, and I love Invaders. Ironcaster says, I love DS9, but Babylon 5 is just a little bit higher on my list right now. Well, that's totally respectable, man. I love both of them. It's tough for me to choose out of the two, but that's a very respectable, way to be for sure, Ironcaster. I'm with you, brother. I'd say Doctor Who, Star Trek, 735, of course. Blake 7, Space 1999, first season. Like BSG 2. Prisoner is amazing. Yeah, I love me the amazing. Yep. Great stuff. I mean, for me, see, when it comes to my favorite, I don't even go with favorite science fiction shows because they're always going to be at the top because that just seems to be what I love the most, Where did I put mine? Where did I put that picture? I had a picture to show. In case he shows up. Let's see. All right. I forgot to load a picture. Well, let me do show notes, folks. I got so wrapped up. See, look, that's what happens to me when I talk Blake 7. I lose it all, man. I just lose all sense of time and everything. Show notes, folks. We still want to be professional around here, even though I've already blown that out of the water. Tomorrow night, same clubby time, same clubby channel, club-based clubhouse. With, of course, the wonderful Commander R.M. Briggs and the great Chief Engineer Mark B. with a C. Saturday night, same Trek time, same Trek channel. Saturday night, Star Trek. We will be ending the 5th season pretty much, with one exception the week after. 4 more episodes to be reviewed. And then we're back to our old time slot for Monday nights. Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. The Clobberin Times annual Superman birthday celebration. Oh, Tabletop? Well, thank you for being here, my friend. It's great to see you. Thank you so much. Every year at this time, even though we don't always have a February 29th, and Superman's birthday in the comics is February 29th, I celebrate Superman's birthday by just talking Superman. We did it last year here for the first time on YouTube, and we did it on a Sunday. So we're doing it, and it's landing, of course, on the perfect night for it. Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. I don't know what I will do yet, but it will be all things super, and it will be super duper. It should be Superman-ish for sure. So, yeah. Looking forward to that. And then a week from this very night, Wednesday night. As you know, it's Wildcard Wednesday for a reason, because it can be just me sitting here talking with you wonderful people and just hanging out and no particular topic. Or boom, it's usable, serviceable for a topic. And we're going to have a doozy for you. Another coming to you next Wednesday night. Another classic, Clobby's Classic Comics review with my great friend 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser. We will review Frank Miller and Dave Mazzucchelli's masterpiece, Daredevil Born Again. And I am looking forward to that. I'm really, really, really enjoying these comic book review shows. A lot of fun. We got lots of comics review shows in store this year on Clobberin Times. This is just one of many great classics. It'll probably be followed up in the maybe a week or two after that by another Frank Miller book, Wolverine miniseries. So, anyway, there you have it for the show notes, my friends. And let me get back to see what's going on in that lovely chat there. Back it up a little bit. Okay, let's see what Max Redstone said. Scored. Uh, 0, 1, or 2 based on Federation foes, primary antagonist, frenemy factor, main baddie, buddy factor, rest of the crew, other guys, stupor computers, and okay, you're a dork. Hey, I think that's fantastic, Max. I don't have it in me to do that kind of rating thing. I never even think about all that stuff. I just think about how well written, and imaginative, and just brilliantly acted the episode is, and how much the episode means to me, and how much I've watched it over and over again over the years. That's my criteria. I don't do exactly any of that per se that I've ever, but I love the way your mind works, and we all work differently on that. So I like that system. I have nothing complicated like that at all. But hey, that's amazing, Max. I can't wait to talk Blake Seven with you, man. You are going to be fantastic to talk some Blake Seven with, man. I appreciate that. I I so want to read the. See, I can't. I can't. I was going to do a video. I was actually going to do a video with ranking every season, and I got to wait till my friends get through watching it before I do a video series like that. But I will still. Just got to wait a bit. Oh dear, oh dear. I had something I was supposed to show you all, and I forgot to load the damn picture. Now I'm mad at myself, and now I got to go find it. So I'm going to go find it. Oh, there it is. I found it. Whoa. Okay. Wow, that was easy. Than I thought. Hey, Oliver Belamonte. Okay, I found it. Good to see you, Oliver. Let's see. Oh, Captain Marty Spock, what's up, brother? What say ye? Oliver says, Clobby, ever read Web of Spider-Man 7, number 70, where Spider-Man becomes a Spider Hulk? And I can't believe Amazon owns Comicology. Yeah, I've heard that about Comicology, and I haven't looked at my Comicology in a while. So I'm trying to think. Did I read that one? No, I don't think I read that one. I know the cover. The cover's staring me right in the face. I remember what the cover looks like, Oliver, but I don't think so. I probably wasn't reading that series at that time. What are your thoughts on that series there, Oliver? Now, or that comic. Now, here we go. Everyone knows, I think you all are familiar with our good friend Snail Messiah. Our buddy Snail Messiah, he's not here tonight. Yes, Captain Marty Spock. When do you think would be a good time to do it? What month is the do it like? Is it before the summertime? I remember seeing Blade Runner when it came out, and it was closer to the summertime, was it not? But that doesn't mean we have to wait till the summertime. But I am ready, and I have the movie. Anyway, our good buddy Snail Messiah, who I believe lives in the country of, I guess I'm allowed to say Denmark, is a Danish fellow. He sent me a couple of comic books. It is too kind of him to do that. And I want to thank you. When I finally see him, when he pops in, we'll thank him. He sent me a couple of Beetle Bailey comics. Isn't that nice? What a nice fellow. I really appreciate that. It's always good to get comics from other countries. I have a few. I got a buddy of mine has quite a few. And I, for example, as a huge Watchmen fanatic, all the way back from when it first came out in the 80s, I have the German Watchmen editions, the French Watchmen editions. So it's always cool to get stuff like that. Dad Man Walking, what's up, brother? So I think this is damn cool. And very nice. of Snail Messiah. So he's not here now, probably, but whenever he pops in, well, yeah, D-Bud, I just think it's a cool thing to have, So this next time I see him, I will definitely I will keep these here and definitely thank him for that. The lovely Sherry. Sorry. Sherry, it is wonderful to see you, my dear. You're looking lovely as always. And I hope you are well. Max says, thank you. The numbers are an attempt to be objective. However, I was surprised how close I feel from initial watch up to today. Well, I hear you. Max, I'm so, Raquel, I know I won't tell you exactly where Raquel is, but she's getting toward the end of the second season now, so she's in for some shocks. I don't think she's hearing us now, but she might be. If she are, I love you, Raquel. But she's in for some shocks. Well, obviously that's obvious. Duh, she's already seen some. But so I can't. There's so much I can't talk about yet, but I can't wait to be able to talk about it with her. And I can't imagine what it would be like to be discovering it for the first time. But I'm so bad about this that every time I hear a friend watching it like that, oh yeah, hungry boy, you know what I'm saying. I've gone back now and what I know which one she's watching. So even though I've seen them 1,000,002 times, I'll watch them. I'll watch the ones that she's watching. J-Man, I got you. Cool, man. Cool, you're in that big season 3. Yes, there you go. Cool, you're in for some stuff. But again, it's so tough now not to be able to say anything. And anyone who has seen the show, I always ask you for no spoilers. Not for me, of course, but well, for me too, because of my friends. It's funny that you mentioned that, Luis Sparrow. Yeah, the effects were very cheap. The sets are very cheap. To quote the star of the show, Paul Darrow, who I've quoted many times. The budget, an entire season budget of Blake Seven wouldn't pay for the coffee breaks on Star Trek, and he meant original series. That's when he said that, because that's when he said it. He said that back in the 80s. Now, it has that very low budget, and now of course you look at it, you get to see the old 80s hairdos and the old the sets and all that stuff. But has wonderful characterization and great actors. And it's just, to me, it was always captivating. Good night there, Snorty. And so back in the mid 80s, when I first watched it, Louise, I watched the first episode the way back. Everyone was talking about the show. Because we were also, in the mid 80s, we were also obsessed with Doctor Who, that we wanted to watch other BBC or other British science fiction. We'd already seen some other British science fiction. Agreed, J-Man. I love Avon. Avon's amazing. So when I watched everyone was really hyped to see Blake Seven. I watched the first one, didn't think much of it, and just didn't go out of my way to watch it again. A couple of years go by, and my friends who kept watching it all fell in love with it, and they were harassing me to watch it. I'm like, I don't really feel like it. I didn't get into it. I judged by one episode that I didn't get into it. Well, Paul Darrow, the great star of the show who plays Avon, and his other great star of the show, Michael Keating, who plays Villa, attended a con in New Orleans. This is the single biggest regret. I'll be fair and say geek regret of my entire life. This is painful to have to tell you this stuff. Well, my two friends who were Blake Sevens fans went, and about maybe 30 people minimum attended the con. There was nobody there. And they came back raving about how what a great pair of guys those that were. You know, Avon, the guys that play Avon and Villa were such nice guys. They had a great time spending the whole weekend hanging out with them. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I love Doctor Who, but I don't really care about Blake Seven. So my friend gave me all 52 episodes that he recorded off of the local affiliate, the BBC, PBS affiliate, on his VHS tapes. And they said, watch that last episode and see if you don't want to go back and watch it. This is true. People don't like spoilers. Let me tell you something. There was no such thing as spoilers back then. Maybe for some people, but I didn't care about spoilers. So they said, look, give it a chance, because they were all really talking about that last episode. And I said, all right. So you know what? I'd already seen the first one. I'd seen no other episode. I watched the very last episode. I'm not going to say anything about it. Please, no one in the chat say anything about the last one. But I watched the last episode and had to see what was going to happen. So I went back and started over, fell in love with the show, and never looked back. Loved it ever since. Watched it over and over ever since, and had hated myself with a passion ever since for not giving it a chance sooner and not missing my chance to hang out with Avon and Villa. And yes, one of them's Claude, and my friend Claude has pictures of himself with Paul Darrow. He's got one with Paul Darrow, Avon, with his arm, holding him in a headlock with pointing a ray gun at his head. Yeah, pop culture. I love Red Dwarf. Red Dwarf is also a great show. So my point being is, if I had not been so hasty, and it taught me a lesson. Usually, I give something a little bit of time before I decide it's not for me. That first episode, all it does is lay the groundwork for the show. It's incomplete. Really, you need the first 2 or 3, especially the first 2, but really the first 2 or 3 or 4 to lay down some of the groundwork. But I was an idiot, a young dumbass, and just was impatient. I've always been impatient. And it cost me big time. I could have got to hang around with two people that are my favorites ever. To quote Avon, regret is part of being alive. Just keep it a small part. As you do, demonstrably. My regret is missing the B5 conventions. I didn't get into it until later. Then I'd already missed. Yeah, the only one I got to meet in the cast was David Jackson. But I hear you there. The B5 conventions, I'm right there with you, Louise. Look who's here, the wonderful Apollome's minion. Apollome, my dear, again, I want to thank you so much for this wonderful painting, or this wonderful diamond, I think you call it diamond bead painting or whatever, that you made. It is splendid. It is terrific. Beautiful, beautiful work. And I'm speechless. I cannot say enough. I love this artwork, and you were just too kind. Too kind. That's right, Captain Marty Spock. I'm like the John McClane of geeks. I'm the wrong guy in the wrong place at the wrong time. Story of my life. So yes, this is a wonderful picture that you made. For those who don't know, my wonderful friend Apollome's minion, who's here in the chat, made this beautiful picture for me that she sent me, and she made it out of what do they call diamond beads? I forget exactly what they're called again. Well, you are too kind, Apollome. Thank you so much, my dear. It's beautiful, and you are wonderful. And I even put a couple of my action figures there. My Thing and Hulk action figures were just so proud. They loved it. They weren't even fighting. They were so in awe of the picture. And they were saying, "Do we really look like this when we fight?" Hulk smash, but not Hulk smash, right? Orange, ugly rock monster. Well, you're too kind, dear. Thank you so much for that. It is wonderful, wonderful stuff. Absolutely, hungry boy. Just terrific. She just incredible, incredible work. So yeah, yes, indeed. Here on Wild Card Wednesday night, you never know what could happen. And Max and Jay, yes, uh, believe me, my two friends who got to go hang out with Paul Darrow and Michael Keating, they have never let me forget it. Ever, ever. The two a-holes have held it over my head forever. And they don't know a tenth about Blake Seven what I know, but it doesn't matter. They got the most important bit. I'll have to get Claude's picture and show it to you sometimes of him and Paul Darrow. I met some of my favorite people before. At least I got to meet Jack Kirby. That does make up for it a little bit. Twice, in fact. So, what are you going to do? The only thing that could, getting to meet Adam West a few times, that was great. The only thing that could fix it would be to get to meet Tom Baker. That'd be the greatest thing ever. Luis Sparrow says, one of my other favorite fandoms is Discworld. And Paul Darrow played one of the main characters on stage. I would have loved to have seen that. Oh, wow. I did not know he was in that. Oh, my goodness. Excellent. And the thing is, what I do know of him, though, is not just because of my friends who met him, but others. He's such a nice guy. He and all the Blake people were just terrific, lovely people who were very nice. Except for maybe Josette Simon. I think I hear that she doesn't like talking about the show. And she didn't participate in the Big Finish audios. So D-Bud, John Pertwee came down here. I remember I was so pissed off. I didn't have a choice on that one. I had to work that Saturday. Went and the same two a-hole friends got to go see him. That's another one but this case, it was because I really couldn't make it. They didn't, JD Lewis, what's up, buddy? So I missed John Pertwee. Then they went to a con without me one year, Magnum Opus Con in Georgia. And they see on that Friday when they arrive, Patrick Troughton walking around the lobby of the hotel. And they decided people were bugging him, so they decided not to bug him. So the next morning he passed away in his hotel room. Good night, Max. Enjoy dinner, buddy. Thank you, JD Lewis. Appreciate you. Good to see you, man. So, yeah, what are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? It's sad out there. It's sad for us geeks sometimes, man. We don't get to meet our favorites. They say don't meet your heroes or whoever you're a fan of. I guess that's can be a problem sometimes, but really it's a first world problem, must be honest. But yeah, that means the only doctors I've ever met, unfortunately for me, because there's not enough of them. I met Colin Baker, whom I like. By the way, I'm the fan of his. I'm one of the few who likes Colin Baker. I met the great Sylvester McCoy a couple of times, and Sophie Aldred from Doctor Who a couple of times. Liz Sladen, Nicholas Courtney, Jonathan Turner, John Levine, John Leeson, and of course Peter Davison a couple of times. Let's see, and from Blake Seven, the only one I ever got to meet was David Jackson. All in all, a big bunch of bummers, right? Dang it. Yeah, but there are plenty of greats I got to meet. What are you gonna do? That's a shame, D Bud. I love Patrick Troughton. Now, J Man, that's impressive, dude. J Man has met Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann, Matt Smith, and Peter Capaldi. That's pretty good. I think Josette was a bit unfair since the writers really catered to the character of Dana. Daughter of an elite scientist, gossip said Josette resented being a sex symbol. Well, I thought Dana was a good character, though, and she did a good job. Louise, yeah, that's the thing I found out as well, Louise, is the Doctor Who people, like the Blake Seven people, and like some of the other people from the other British stuff, are very nice. Everyone I met was very nice. Whereas, with Trek people, it's different. I understand there's something bigger, but there's no excuse. Well, the Doctor Who people work for a living. I mean, they're not like, or from back then anyway, they're not superstar, or they're not rich, ridiculously rich, pampered Hollywood types. They're just not, nor weren't anyway. So, yeah. Apollomy says, so when you get a new frame, measure just the beaded areas and leave the excess of the canvas. When putting the back of the frame on, leave the excess so the picture won't sag. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. And again, you're too kind. You're too kind, Apollomy. I've never seen Doctor Who either, says Steve Mitchum, which I need to correct since my late friend Ron Thornton did special effects for the original show. Wow, cool. I mean, those guys who worked on the effects of the original show, it's easy just to dismiss them and say, it looks bad, this, that, They had nothing to work with. And still, there were times where they did what was just a pretty damn good effect, all things considered. They were great, and they used practical effects. And it was all about the story and the character anyway. Way it should be. Oh my goodness. So, let's see here. This Wild Card Wednesday. I'm what's anyone got anything that they want to share tonight? They want to talk about, or any questions or anything like that? I'm here to hang out with you. Just you and me, kid. Because that's what we're here for. We're here to be wild carded. But I'm not going to card you. Bzz. See, I've got Wildfire already up there. Says he was a guest teacher at the visual effects school I attended, and we became friends. Oh, cool. Okay. Well, while you're finding that, Steve, yeah, look, okay, here we go. One of my coworkers animated one of the Fantastic Four TV shows. Oh, wow, okay. I love the second season of the Fantastic Four cartoon, as you can all imagine. And as seen in the GIF above here. Love it. What the? Oh, sorry. So, well, what else is going on with everyone tonight? Oh, here we go. All, all I got is one of my godmothers dated George Lazenby right before he became Bond. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Hungry Boy, have you seen the George Lazenby documentary on Hulu called Becoming Bond? George Lazenby hosts it, and it's about his life and stuff. It's a Hulu documentary. Oh, my God. If you have not seen that, man, I know I'm not supposed to. I break my own rule by recommending stuff, but now you've told me that. Look, it's hilarious. Anyway, it's really a fun documentary. It truly is great, I thought. And it's hilarious. Steve says, I just found out today Oh, he found some of the original drawings in his garage. Wow. Wow. Damn, dude. You found some cells or what? That's right. He worked on B5. Nice. Pop culture knows who you're talking about there. Louise says, I just finished reading number 6 of JMS's comic Telepath. It could so easily fit into B5 as an ongoing, as an origin for the side core. It could be related. It could be something where he based it on that. Now, Louise, is this a new comic? Because I'm not familiar with it if it's new. Because I guess I figured he had a couple other comics out there. Site 67 FF cartoon is what got me buying comic books. That and the Power Records would be the same deal for me. As well, D-Bud. All right, Jay, man, take it easy, brother. Good to see you, man. Thanks for hanging out with me. Same guy worked on Anastasia, Treasure Planet, Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron. Oh, hey, cool, yes. Okay, it's a new one. There you go. You know, I got to tell you, I was a big fan of JMS for B5. JD. So, On Her Majesty's Secret Service is your favorite Bond film. Interesting. Okay, there you go. Cool. Then if you haven't seen that documentary, I highly recommend it. There I go, recommending stuff. I'm not supposed to do that, but what the hell? I'll do it. When a specific instance like this, I'll just do it. What the hell? So, Straczynski, J. Michael Straczynski. I love his Babylon 5. I'm not happy about him doing a remake, but that's not here nor there right now. To say I've been fairly disappointed in his comic book writing would be an understatement, but that's with the caveat. For example, I don't think I've read Rising Stars, was it? I don't think I read that or one of his other books that he created himself, but when he writes other characters, for example, he can write his Babylon 5 characters and do whatever he wants with them, and he's brilliant. When he writes the characters of others, especially established icons, he is terrible, in my opinion. His Spider-Man stuff was garbage. His Superman stuff, even worse garbage. His Brave and the Bold was garbage. I mean, he's written a lot of terrible stuff. The one thing he did with characters that he did not completely could create that I loved was called The 12. And the only reason I love that is because these were a bunch of barely known, timely characters from the 40s that were kind of knockoff characters anyway that hadn't been around since the 40s. And he could do whatever he wanted with them. And that was a great comic. Hungry Boy says, I think you should forego worrying or worried about a recommendation, Sclobby, compared to all the bad recos out there for people with their hand out, so to speak. Thank you. I hear you. And I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Hungry Boy. It's just something I never really like to do that much, but I'll slip and do it sometimes. It's just because I don't want that responsibility. It's just me being lazy, to be honest with you. Hungry Boy, it's me being a chicken. That's what it is. So, I don't know. It's just the way it is, dude. Or just the way it is. So, it's just Krasinski. Apollonie's favorite Bond movie is Octopussy. Either that or she just wanted to have me say it on the air, but just kidding. Well, Apollonie, I've never heard anyone that be anyone's favorite, but that's cool. I might surprise you with my favorite. In fact, I dare say that no one could guess my favorite Bond movie, and I love Bond movies. Well, the early ones. So everyone, now that we're on Bond, may as well give me your favorite Bond movie. Super Chicken. D-Bud's favorite is Thunderball. So I've never heard. I love the fact that I haven't heard too many people say that about like J.D. Lewis's favorite is On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and Apollonie's is Octopussy. So that's interesting to me. You usually hear certain ones as favorites, and it got me thinking. Mine is no one's ever will ever guess mine either. So now I want to know everyone's favorite Bond movie. If you have a favorite Bond movie, not two, not three, just your favorite one. If you can single it to one. From Russia with Love I love both of those, but yes, fine choice. Great movie. Now, I'll give everyone a hint. My favorite Bond movie doesn't have my favorite Bond in it. That's going to sound weird. My favorite Bond movie doesn't have it has my second favorite Bond in it. And it's no one else's. I know one other human being who calls it his favorite. Maybe more than that. Louis Sparrow says, I've never seen a Bond movie all the way through, but if I was going to watch one, it would probably be GoldenEye because I like Remington Steele. Well, GoldenEye was pretty good. I'm not big on the Brosnan ones that much, but GoldenEye I thought was his best one for me. I think that was my favorite of those. Mark D with a C says, Live and Let Die is his favorite. I love that one. This is my top. I love Live and Let Die. I don't care who knows it. So I want to see everyone else's and see if anyone can guess. If you want to guess, I'm just because there's nothing else to do tonight, really. We all know how much you love Yaphet Kobo Club. I actually do think Yaphet Kobo is fantastic. I love Mr. Big. He always did have an inflated opinion of himself. Yaphet Kotto was one of Gene Roddenberry's on his list to play captain of the Enterprise for the Next Generation. That would have been interesting. So, anybody else have a favorite Bond movie? Yeah, Yaphet Kotto was great in Midnight Run, by the way. Okay, no one else has a favorite Bond movie? Okay. That's cool. Well, anyone, I'm gonna count to. I'm gonna give it like one. Anyone, can anyone guess my favorite Bond movie? Eric from Rush with Love is one of my favorite. Okay, so not your favorite, but it's okay. Fair enough. What's a great movie? Goldfinger. Goldfinger. Yep. Well, I love Goldfinger. I love it a lot, and I love Live and Let Die also. So I don't know. I can't. Let's see here. Yeah, Craigwoods don't count for me. Not Moonraker, but I do love it. Same here. I don't count the Craig movies. We were on. Who was I on with? I was on with someone, some show. I forgot. I think it was over at Pop Culture Minefield or whatever. Talking to some people. They were all big, huge fans of the Daniel Craig stuff. And I hate them. And I no, not the people. I like the guys. I hate those things. They're just so. And some of those people were fans of the books, and they like them because they're more like the books. Well, that's a fair cop, but nope, not that one. No, Mark. Hey, Dave Bob, quick, what's your favorite Bond movie? Not one or two now. You got to pick one favorite one. If you have it. If you don't have a favorite, that's fair enough. I can't stand the Daniel Craig ones, though, Apollo. Me, it's just not my bag. So, let's see here. I didn't think anybody would be able to guess it. JD, you did. Live and Let Die. That's a great one, Dave Bob. Living Daylights is my favorite. Even though Connery's my favorite Bond, my favorite movie is Living Daylights. I love it. I love Timothy Dalton. I loved Roger Moore. But I'll tell you about Live and Let Die. When Live and Let Die opened at the theater in 1972 or 3, whatever it was, it opened on a double bill with Diamonds Are Forever, which was the previous Bond film. And as a kid, I don't know, 9 years old or whatever. We went to see Diamonds Are Forever. A lot of people pick on Diamonds Are Forever. I love Diamonds Are Forever. Maybe it's because it's the first James Bond movie I ever saw. And, of course, it's at a theater, too. And then we wait for the next feature. We watch Live and Let Die. Now, I love them both, but as a kid, I didn't understand why they were two different dudes. I just thought they were two different guys. I didn't know that Roger Moore was supposed to be playing the same character. I didn't have hang-ups that an adult might have, like, oh, he's not Connery. I don't want to see that. I loved them both. Loved them both. And then from there, each year one would come out and I would watch it. And, of course, remember the Saturday night, remember what a big event it was? The ABC Sunday night movie. And they would show a James Bond film and you were home for that sucker. I love them. And I guess that's what I love Live and Let Die. Yeah, Jane Seymour, fantastic, man. Sorry to let you down there, Hungry Boy, but for some reason, I just love everything about Living Daylights, including how much I love Timothy Dalton. And I wish he'd have got more movies. Lord Haster, what's up, bud? How you doing, bro? Hope you're doing well. So, yeah, Connery's my favorite, like everyone else. It's so easy because he is Bond for me. Yeah, I love Connery and most of his movies. I love Moore in most of his movies, although some of them are silly. I love Dalton, and Dalton's only 2 shots at the apple. I like GoldenEye a lot. And after that, I don't really like Brosnan that much. But I'll take him, even his weakest movie over the Daniel Craig drivel. I can't stand it, man. I can't stand Daniel Craig. Oh, I love Moonraker. I love Moonraker pop culture. Yeah, unabashedly. I like silly Bond. I like less silly Bond. What I don't like is ultra serious boohoo, just ugly, nasty animal Bond, like what's his face, Bourne Bond, Craig. When you take all of the, again, fans of those movies love to use the books, the Fleming books, as their defense to why they're right and why those movies are great. Look, I have no problem if you prefer that, because it is absolutely true that the James Bond in the films is not really that close to the one in the books. The James Bond films did develop a life of their own and an identity of their own. Hello there, Mrs. Dadman Walking. The Dadman clan is here tonight. Well represented, Dadman and the Dadman lady. Hello there. I only buy my movies at thrift stores, and one of the collections I am working on are the Bond movies. Excellent. Welcome, everyone. We have the chief engineer here. What's up, dude?
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining me, man. How's it going?
Whatever else, right?
Yeah. So I love again those Craig movies. Those. You don't have to use the book defense on me. If you like them, you like them. But the book defense doesn't cut any ice with me because, again, while I'm certainly one who understands if you are a book purist and then someone changes it for your movie, changes when they make the movies, why that would piss you off. But let's be honest about something. A lot of these people saying that stuff, there's no way the first thing they ever saw James Bond was a book. They saw movies first.
No, I agree with that. Yeah,
the movies are 10 times bigger.
First, I mean,
they no way they were like, what were they, 7 years old or something, and read the books, and then, oh yeah, they're making movies on it. No, the movie started in 1962, so, or was it 62? 60? Wow, is it? Oh my God, it's 60 years. Anyway,
we're old now.
So the movies. Look, God bless the book, and if you prefer the books, God bless you on that one as well. Look, that's great, but this is not the same though, because the movies did overtake. It's just like in 20 or 30 years, no one's going to know that Captain America and Iron Man are comic book characters. They almost don't know it now. They're movies. I don't like that, by the way, but at least there was like 50, 60, and 70 years of comic book lore before movies took over these characters.
Wolverine is a tall guy, right?
That's not the case with James Bond. There were books. A few people, and books were big back then, granted. They were wordy. But movies came over. Movies did take over the franchise. And really, when you think James Bond, you think of books. You think of movies. Love the books all day long. I like them too. I haven't read all of the Fleming ones. I've read a lot of them. I've read some of the James Garner novels. All that's fantastic. But James Bond is really the movies.
And Fleming wrote them for TV too, right? So he wanted, Bond out on film too. So he wrote some short stories later on for TV.
Yeah.
And I've read a couple of the books. I can't remember now with this jumbled memory of mine, but I remember reading some of the books. But yeah, the character's different in the books, but usually that's just the way it goes. Like I've said many times, like I love the Martian book, but really didn't like the movie that much. But it's a totally different experience and different way to relate to the character. So, and most of us had to have seen Bond first on TV. I mean, it just, and then going to the movie theater. I mean, maybe a few people read the books, and what was really missing from this Craig Bond films was that I didn't even think they were good movies. Whether you like that gritty interpretation.
I think Casino Royale is a decent. It's a decent action movie. It's not to me. It's not the James Bond I want to see.
Yeah, I mean that was okay, but then I thought it went really off the rails. Some Skyfall, some of the movies, the plots didn't make sense, and some of the storylines and what happened. I mean, I guess some of the music was good, and the cars always looked great, but not enough gadgets.
The same thing. All five movies are his freaking life and his origin, not his adventures. His adventures are like second string to his origin and his personal life, if you see what I mean. In other words, yes, he's on mission sometimes, but the whole show, all these five movies are about James Bond's personal struggles, his personal life, his origins, and all this other kind of drivel. When that's not what I want to see.
Well, Her Majesty's Secret Service is probably the one you get the most Bond, in terms of personal life when he,
and even that's
spoiler,
minimal,
he gets, but it's minimal. He gets married and his wife gets, spoiler if you haven't seen it, his wife gets killed
That's
by
like
Blofeld or right in
it's
that
by
movie?
Blofeld, but the thing is, that's an afterthought to the movie because the movie
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
deals with none of that until the last
Yeah.
scene.
That's what makes it such an amazing. Yeah, it's really like a side, but you see a side story, but you see how it affects him. Obviously, you see that he has a personal life, but it's not. The whole movie is not about him and his future wife, and that's a great. Yeah, that's a fantastic movie to see on her. You were just mentioning George Lazenby before in that documentary, which is amazing. But
Oh, that documentary, the Lazenby documentary. I've watched it a couple of times. I want to go
that's
watch it
great.
again now that we're talking about it. It was so funny.
And imagine turning down the role of James Bond because I guess, wasn't enough money
He
or wasn't
walked
something.
away from James Bond and
Yeah,
all that money. Walked away from it.
yeah. So yeah, kind of crazy, and the series is pretty, or the show is just
I
the
think,
movie I should say it's fun. Yeah,
and you know what? I think he would have gotten better. I just didn't think and a lot of people look. I like the movie, okay. It's just kind of tough to watch him sometimes. I mean, after Connery, and
yeah.
and then knowing what I know about because I saw him more before him as well because just saw him backwards. So he's okay, and he probably would have gotten better.
Well, he only
But
had
I
one
mean,
movie too. Yeah, it's tough
yeah,
to judge on just one.
he had the tougher act to follow than of course, so did Moore. But I mean, they both had a tough act to follow.
The other show I love is The Saint with Roger Moore too. So
And
that
there's
used
the
to be
problem. He's more like the Simon
Saint. Yeah,
Templar. Yeah, I love
yeah.
the
And
Saint.
I used to watch that after school every day. Channel 9 in New York City, WOR. They had yeah.
I
And
mean, that beginning of every episode when someone would say,
yeah.
"Aren't you Simon Templar?" and it would stop, and you'd hear that music with the little halo on top of it.
Yeah.
I
They had
love
that
it.
Volvo sports car, the white Volvo sports car, and yeah, I
Yeah,
love that. And I gotta have the box set of that, so I gotta. I don't know if it's
nice.
available for streaming ever, but I had I rescued that from a buddy's house who was gonna get rid of a bunch of DVDs, and I'm like, I grabbed all the sets that I could. So I'll tell you the story of that after. But
Cool.
I grabbed like I got The Prisoner from him, and I think Space 1999 and the Avenger, the old Avengers British TV
Wow.
show.
The
Bunch
Saints
of
on YouTube?
the Saints on YouTube. Well, that's awesome.
Jesus.
You
He
wonder how
said some
some stuff
copies.
ends.
People just put
Yeah,
them on there and they figure they're going to take them off, and they don't take them off sometimes.
yeah,
Remember,
I
before Blake
guess.
Seven with the BritBox, Blake Seven, every episode was on there.
Yep. Some of the quality of the wasn't that good. It must have been old VHS transfers, but if you're watching Blake Seven, you don't care about the special effects anyway, right? So
Yeah, but they're good. Yeah, but they were good copies, though.
they were good copies. Yeah,
Daily
but
Motion has shitty copies.
shitty copies. Yeah, so the BritBox is much better.
But people keep
Copy
putting
to
them back
watch
on
with.
there because Blake Seven still has some episodes back up there. Just I don't think they have them all up there.
Yeah, so and getting them here is tougher too if you don't sub to BritBox because I think they had some sets on Amazon, but they're pretty expensive. I mean, there's ways to get it, but
I wish I'd have got that.
import them, but not cheap.
I wish I'd have got that Saint box set you're talking about. But I also mad at myself because I didn't jump on that Secret Agent box set when it was cheaper. Patrick McGowan's Secret Agent. I love that show. Of course, you know why. Obviously, because it's Patrick. Yeah. There's a man who leads a life of danger.
But nothing's going to be cheap now, right? Hard copy or physical media is going away. I mean, don't shoot the messenger, but I give it
physical, buddies.
I give it 10 to 15 years, and then Han will shoot second on everything you own. Basically, then they can go digitally and change things that they don't like, or take out things that are quote unquote offensive now, or scrub scenes you'll never see. I mean, it's not happening to that great extent now. I mean, we had the Splash episode, and even the Star Wars versions that went on Disney Plus, they actually re-edited some of the stuff for I think the Han Solo cantina scene. People were complaining again. They changed things up. So I mean, it's pretty easy for them to do. So it's get your physical media while you can, and buy extra DVD players, I guess. Because I mean, it's going to be a niche market down the road, I think, just for home theater people, nerds, and geeks like me, and some of our people listening, I'm sure. But
yeah,
it's just my kids don't buy anything. They don't buy anything, no physical media. Most kids I talk to, zero interest in, physical media. I mean, maybe that's just the people I encounter, but they all just stream. Their parents all subbed all the, streaming services or Amazon or Netflix or whatever, and then or YouTube. They watch stuff through YouTube, and why would I buy something? That were you crazy? Buy something? I only watch on my phone. How am I going to watch it on the So
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly right, Steve Mitchum. Johnny Rivers was from my neck of the woods, went to Baton Rouge High, and he sang that song, Secret Agent Man. It was used, of course, it was a famous song in the 60s, and they used it for the Patrick McGowan show, Secret Agent, which was Danger Man over there. When it came over here in the States, it was Secret Agent.
yeah.
And then, of course, Dave Bob, yes, I love Man from Uncle, and I love the Avengers. I do have. A couple years ago, I managed to snag the Emma Peel set, the Emma Peel mega set they did. It just has the Emma Peel seasons. I mean, I love the other seasons, don't get me wrong, but it was cheap. And it's a lot of episodes, by the way, on DVD many years ago. So at least I have the Emma Peel mega set. And then around that same time, I got the New Avengers, both for season 1 and 2. The New Avengers is underrated. It wasn't quite as great as the Emma Peel episodes, but it was pretty damn good with Joel Lumley. Watch the Avengers. I love the Avengers.
I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen it. I just have that box set, so I'm not sure if I have all the seasons or what seasons I've got, or got to check. But I got Blake 7 to watch and TNG and the Star Trek to watch. But
that was so much fun watching those, the New Avengers, because I remember they had the CBS late night going on in the 80s and stuff, and they would show. That's how I got to see a lot of those shows. And if you listen carefully, he's actually saying Secret Asian Man in the first verse, Secret Asian Man in the second, and Secret Cajun Man in the third. Wow. Secret Asian Man. Wow. They're giving you a number and they're taking away your name. The Emma Peel Mega set is getting hard to find at a good price. Really? Wow. I got it. I'm glad I got it then years ago. I love her. But she's fantastic. Joanna Lumley and McCallum, Sapphire and Steel. Yeah, I've been meaning to go back and dive into Sapphire and Steel. I'm going to do that soon. A buddy of mine made some old boots for me from it. But I think it's on YouTube, someone said. I don't know. I need to check. But Max says, Villa, where do space pilots leave their ships? Or I don't know. Where do space pilots leave their ships? Villa, talking medias. Oh, God. Some Blake 7 jokes, folks. There you go. Well done, Villa.
I know no spoilers, but I was watching an episode last night.
Crusader.
With
Comic Relief. I was just saying hello to Comic Relief Crusader.
Yep. Hell, comic. Yep. No, I was just saying no spoilers, but I was watching an episode last night where Avon was actually standing up for Villa and was pissed off at another member of the crew over what he had done to Villa or said to Villa. And I'm sure you can name the episode. And,
City at the Edge of the World.
Yeah, there we go. You're the Blake 7 whisperer, and I just watched the episode yesterday, and I'm forgetting the name of it.
I love that episode. It's one of my favorites.
That is a great,
Let's
no
see, spoilers,
but that is a really good episode. Yep.
Colin Baker, the 6 doctors in that one.
Yeah.
Let's see where that episode ranks on my list. In fact, that one is. You know how that one barely misses my top 10 at number 11. That's how much I love that episode.
That was really, really good episode. Yeah.
When I can't wait to Max. I'd tell you if it weren't spoilerly, I bet Max, you knowing Blake 7 the way you do, I bet you would be astonished at my number 1 episode. You would be astonished. I can't mention it for many reasons. The fact that a lot of friends haven't seen it yet, but that kind of dead a little bit of it, not too much of a dead giveaway, but so yes.
And I've got to ask you about one of those scenes.
Sure. After
we're off there, because it might be a spoiler, but I was trying to figure out something had happened. Of course, I could always call you, or when there was a gunfight in one of the scenes, and it was kind of confusing to me. But we'll talk after. Just so.
Hey, Tim's talk. Yeah, you can do that, or if remember it, or you can put it in the private chat. But
Yep. But Colin Baker was good in that episode. Yeah.
Yep. By the way, I have Heroes and Icons cable channel, and they have Gun Will Travel. I'm watching. You know what? That's another one that I'm almost as bad. It's my top 5 or 6 all-time favorite shows. To me, Have Gun Will Travel is the greatest Western TV show ever made, bar none. And that's another one that I'm almost as bad as I am about like Trek or Blake 7. In case in point, I'm just sitting around. But I have those old. I told you I have those old first 3 season sets of it.
Yep.
And then Claude and his what got me just a big old complete season of it. They got with a big set about a year or two ago, and it's sitting on my table there last night, and I'm like, I'm in a Paladin mood. Sometimes I get in a Trek mood. Sometimes I get in a Doctor Who mood. I get in an Avon mood. I get in a Blackadder mood, a Fantastic Four mood, a Batman mood, Superman. You just know. Sometimes I get in a Paladin mood, and I just opened up that set today. Yeah, and I'll sit there and watch Have Gun Will Travel episodes that I've seen a zillion times over and over again, and that's what I'm. When I get out of here tonight and just go relax on the couch, since I've already done my Star Trek homework, I think I'll probably go watch me some Have Guns.
Or play Fortnite with Dad Man.
Exactly what I said. I'll probably go watch me some Have Guns. I accidentally did do the update for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, you did? Oh, good. Yeah, no, I'm gonna.
I think now I'll try to plug it in. It'll want another stupid update.
And your controller will be dead. Yeah.
No, that's actually charged up.
Okay.
Oh, I keep ruining my excuses. But yes, dude,
you got to learn to lie better.
There's nothing like Have Gun Will Travel. I love all those old westerns of those eras, but none of them are written as well as that. Hunger Boy said, odd fact, Clobby, there is a movie Rift Track starring Casper Van Dien with a cameo by Mike Grell with a Starship ripoff of The Liberator. What in the hell are you blowing my mind to pieces with that? What? I'm sorry, Hungry Boy. I'm going to have, or Hungry for Thirsty Stew to get a clue. I'm going to have some clarification on that in there with my brother, if you don't mind. Hey, Dave Bob, I have the set of Guns of Will Sonnet. Great show. The set I have, and I've told Mark about this, it's from these old, really terrible masters. And it's not the fault of the people who put the set together. Timeless Media, they couldn't find good copies, so they're really terrible copies. But at least I have them, and I love the Guns of Will Sonnet. Great show. No brag, just fact.
Yep,
so he's coming right up. He's going to explain. Good. Just got through binging Briscoe County a couple of months back for the 20 billionth time, pop culture, so I'm right there with you. I love it. And it's funny, I watched the old westerns of that time, and there were some really good ones. I mean, I love Maverick. I love Lawman. That was a good one. Ended up getting hooked on years ago. It used to be on the Western Channel. I love The Rifleman. I loved, Virginian. Cimarron Strip didn't last so long, but that was a good one. Laredo was a good one. What's the one with Clint Walker? Cheyenne was a great one.
Western TV dominated, the 50s and 60s, right? And into the 70s even. And of course, my generation, we watched Little House on the Prairie. I guess it's not really a Western, but Bonanza. But there were a ton of, Daniel Boone, I remember as a kid. And just Westerns were just, you played Cowboys and versus Indians. It was just, everyone had David Crockett hat or, it was just a fun genre that there's just so many movies. And of course, then you go to the Clint Eastwood, the spaghetti westerns, and those classics. And there's just so many great. I mean, just not just Clint Eastwood, but John Wayne. Yep, John Wayne. And Searchers, classic movie, or Shane. That's another classic western.
Shame on you, Shane. Yeah, Rifleman was such a good show, though. All right, let's see here. The movie is Star Raiders, which also had a brief cameo by the wonderful Cynthia Rothrock. How 80s geek is that? But what was Mike Grell doing in there, dude?
Star Raiders. Wow.
Sounds familiar, but
going that. Going that, Raquel.
I like Big Valley.
It was a video game by Atari, too.
You didn't Raiders. J.D. Lewis, I know what you're talking about. I've heard it. J.D. Lewis didn't like Big Valley. I liked Big Valley, but it wasn't as good as Bonanza. I love Bonanza. Let's see here. We have one No vote against Big Valley there. Max says Heroes and Icons also has combat. Yeah, that's my good buddy Michael French at Retro Blasting, who also shares the favorite James Bond movie with me, Living Daylight. Sorry. Combat's his favorite show, I believe. He loves Combat. Rawhide, Baba Black Sheep. That was a cool show. Later,
that was a great show. Yeah.
Later, it was Black Sheep Squadron. High Chaparral was a good show. Cheyenne was really good. And, of course, all these are, there you go. Except for Renegade. I didn't really watch that one that much.
Renegade. The nice thing is I love, those old shows. You just put one on and you could just watch the damn thing. Even if you didn't know the characters or.
Thanks, DB.
You learn the characters really quickly. You could just plop an episode in or watch one and boom, away you go. It's not everything was interconnected. I mean, there were some plot threads, of course, that would go through the old shows, but it wasn't. The anthology type shows were just so much easier to watch. I thought I really missed that because I kind of, as much as I like Deep Space Nine and sometimes I just wanted to be able to watch. I
like one-off stories.
An episode. Yeah.
Let me tell you something about Have Gun Will Travel. There, it's a 20 to 23-minute show. These stories, you watch it, and it's two things happen to you. It's weird. It goes by fast, and you get so much, and yet you get a full meal out of it because it's the way it's written. And at the end, you're like, wow, it moved fast. It didn't take long, and yet it felt like I watched a movie. And that sounds contradictory in the best sort of way because it is. And the writing is so much. The writing and the intelligence and the characterization and the scripts on Have Gone Will Travel, which, considering the people who wrote it, it's not surprising, was a cut above most of all of television, including, and not just Westerns, but yes, it was above most of it at the time. It's still great. Grell was playing a goofy, terrible side villain with the worst fake Aussie accents in South Park. Mike Grell. Next time I meet Mike Grell, and we do have a mutual friend, and he comes to shops and do signings sometimes, I would have to ask him about that, and he would too much to his shame. Bonanza, yes. We talked about Bonanza once before. I'm sure everyone here might know about it. How in the first couple of episodes of Bonanza, the Cartwrights were the bad guys.
Oh, they were the bad guys? Yeah, I don't remember that.
I didn't tell you about that?
He might have, yeah, but I never remember watching it.
Okay, if anyone gets a chance to ever go back and watch the very first 2 or 3 or 4 episodes of Bonanza. I've told this here before, so forgive me if you've heard me say this again, but some of you may not know. Bonanza, of course, a classic show. I love Bonanza. A buddy of mine also loves him, and he's always trying to buy every season. And they were putting them out in different order and all this kind of crazy stuff. Well, eventually, a number of years ago, they put out the first season in real nice copy, clean it all up and all that stuff. And so he said, "Where do you see this? Just what we're going to watch." He said, "You want to watch the first Bonanza?" Wow, first episode of Bonanza? Because in reruns and in syndication, there were lots of seasons that never got shown. It almost never made. I mean, it lasted 14 years. There a lot of episodes didn't make it into all the reruns for some reason. It wasn't like Star Trek.
Show them, yeah.
Well, it wasn't like Star Trek where you only had 79 episodes. You had to keep them in the rotation. They had zillions of episodes. For some reason, early ones didn't get shown that much. And it wasn't in black and white. It wasn't color. It's not like Gunsmoke, which was in black and white most of the time. But anyway, so Gunsmoke, he said, you won't even believe it's the same show. So we start watching it. The first episode, and the Cartwrights are a bunch of pricks. And I'm like, I hate these what? That's not Ben Cartwright. That's not Hoss and Little Joe. They're a-holes. They were the rich assholes that everyone hates as the bad guys in all of Western movies, right?
Wow.
Because at that time, I guess you didn't have any shows where the rich people were the good guys. There had to be the a-holes, which is a very typical Hollywood trope now. Rich people are the bad guys. So they were the ranchers, the rich rancher. They're usually the ones that go after the sodbusters, and they go after, they're always, the stereotypes. They're always chasing them sodbusters off our land, and they're a bunch of, they're imperialistic and they're imperial and all this kind of crap. Well, in the first episode, they were unlikable dickheads. And Lauren Green, and I think Pernell Roberts, a couple of them said, you know, I don't want to be on. I mean, this show's not going to work. Nobody likes us because we're jerks. I don't like us. We're not likable. And so they drastically changed the characters. And I don't know how many episodes went on that way. It's been a few years since I've watched that one, but I don't know how many episodes went on that way. But they changed. They had to start, making them heroes, which they did.
Yeah, because Lorne Michaels, everyone loved him as
Lauren Green, the Cartwrights, were
yes,
heroes.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
They helped everybody that came through there. Yes, they were rich. They owned the Ponderosa, but they helped everybody. Ben was he was the rock, and they had everyone helped everybody. He was the pillar of the community. 2 or 3, Dave Bob says, yeah. I don't know if he was talking to me or what, but so Hoss, this big lovable guy who stood up for the little guy, literally, because everyone was little to him, and he would protect people, and he was a jovial, good-natured guy that you liked. And then Little Joe was the hero type. He was a fast gun and a hothead, and you had Pernell Roberts. Adam was the wise sage, kind of in between Ben and Little Joe type.
Yep.
So you should see.
The cast was great on that show. The cast was great on there. Yeah, it was just so good.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about, Dave Bob. You remember that? You said you should see Virginia City. There are plaques mentioning actual people who are characters, guest stars all over the place. Yeah, because Virginia City was the city where Sheriff Coffee and all that stuff. That's where most of the city stuff on Bonanza took place. World Made of Cardboard, a friend from down my way. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, Mr. Cardboard. It
was a comedy group whose name I cannot remember, who used to do a spoof of Bonanza. The dad talked about feeding his dog Alpo dog food. Yeah, because Lauren Green used to do those Alpo commercials.
Yeah.
And one of the sons asked if he could fly the Galactica. Rat Patrol, that was a cool show.
Think of how tough Dan Blocker was. Hoss Cartwright, one of my favorite characters, and he reminded me of Ben Grimm in some ways, I guess. But he was
Ben Grimm. He was the Ben Grimm of the show. Lovable, big, tough guy, but and he was the big dude. And they all had different mothers, which told you how dangerous it was to marry Ben Cartwright.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. But he was filming an episode, and I was just scanning the episode guide to see if I could see when how long they were evil in the beginning. But he was filming an episode. He fell off, broke his collarbone, and it was protruding from his skin. The crew wanted to call an ambulance, but he refused. He stuck the bone back in place himself and resumed filming.
Wow.
At the end of the day, he was convinced to go to the hospital, where they set the bone and gave him instructions, no riding for 6 weeks. 6 weeks. According to Landon, evidently Blocker's horse forgot what it was like to carry the big man during his convalescence, because the first time the Blocker swung up in the saddle on his return, the horse collapsed under his weight, and the casting crew collapsed in fits of laughter. Well, I think that's probably it. I don't know if that's a true story, but I believe the true story about him back in the day, break a bone and keep going, right?
Old joke is the toughest job in Hollywood was on Cartwright's horse.
Big guy. I wouldn't want to get in a fight with us, right?
Pernell Roberts. Yeah, I didn't like. I like it better when Adam was. I liked Adam, but actually, I don't know. Little Joe and the chemistry between Little Joe and Hoss was perfect. And Pernell Roberts was a dumbass for leaving that show for wanting more money. Like, dude, you leave the show. No one's going to give you more money. It's an ensemble cast.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to sing the actual lyrics for Bonanza theme song? Phew. Have you ever auctioned tank? Oh yeah. I'm not a right. Let's see. We got a right to start a little fight. Bonanza. Anyone fights one of us, he's gonna fight with me. One for all for I can't remember it all. There was an episode where they had extra time, and for no reason they broke out into a song on their horses singing the Bonanza theme song. True story. They actually did it in an episode. That show went 14 years, man.
14 years, yeah. And unfortunately, Haas died in 72.
And they did one season without him.
Yep, so they did a season without him, yep. So
And by the way, everyone, I've probably said this before. What the hell? It's been so long. Who knows? If you've never seen the last episode of Bonanza, um, I don't know if it was Michael Landon's first big break. I thought that was I Was a Teenage Werewolf. Michael Landon was in a movie called I Was a Teenage Werewolf.
Yeah, that's a classic. Yeah,
Michael Landon directed the last episode of Bonanza. Now, they didn't know it was going to be the last one. It is the weirdest freaking dude. My friend of mine, he brought it. He's always bringing the stuff over and stuff. Well, he brought it over one night. He said, "You got to watch this last episode of Bonanza."
Oh, they had no idea it was the last one. Yep.
And again, well, he even said, and Lauren Green even said, if we'd known it was going to be the last one, we wouldn't have done that. Well, it's almost the whole episode. For some reason, Little Joe, and he ain't no Little Joe, he's old Little Joe now, gets stuck out in the desert, and some crazy ex-soldier played by Tom Skerritt is stalking him and chasing him. He's just chasing him for the through the desert for the whole episode, and it goes into this ghost town and stuff. It is weird shite. It's on. I think it used to be on YouTube. I don't know if it still is. The original I Was a Teenage Werewolf. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I used to watch the 1989 U.S. Western TV series called The Young Riders. Oh yeah, plus the 80s sci-fi series V, Starman, Quantum Leap, and The Powers of Matthew Starr. Does anyone remember that they tried a science fiction Western show? In fact, even I'm drawing a blank on the name of the title right now, but it had Rod Taylor in it, where they played a bunch of Western outlaws, and one group of was chasing another, and they ended up in this some kind of freak accident sent them forward in time to the present day. There were a bunch of cowboys. Oh, what was the name of that show? Damn, it's going to aggravate me. I think Rod Taylor was in it. That's my only shot of finding out what it is.
All right.
Let me
check Rod Taylor.
Let's find Rod Taylor's. Remember Rod Taylor from The Time Machine?
Let's see here.
Rod Taylor was on it. That much I know. Let me get his TV shows. There we go. He was also on a show called The Bearcats.
Oh, he was on Walker, Texas Ranger. Wow. Much later on. Yeah.
I need to see his IMDb. That's not going to help. So I can go by the year. It was in the
what year?
80s.
80s, you think?
In the 80s.
Well, there's a Tales of Unexpected TV series, Hitchhiker.
Let's see if anybody gets it. Let's see if anybody. I mean, it's so stupidly obscure. All right, let's see here.
Outlaws is 86.
Outlaws might be it. I think it's called Outlaws. Let me find it. Outlaw.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
There it is. 1986. There were that many episodes? 5 cowboys are sent forward in time from 1899 to 1986, where they start their own detective agency. I bet you can't find that anywhere. I watched the first couple of those. There you go, Outlaws. You've all seen that? Oh my God! Now you can't get much more obscure than that, folks.
Wow.
We here at Clobberin try to serve all of your TV obscura needs.
That's obscure. Yeah.
I don't know if we can get much more. I can try. Actually, I can. Don't test me. But wow, I haven't thought about that in forever. And I remember watching the pilot. There could not be that many episodes that were made. Holy shit! Let me see how many.
12 episodes.
12. I would watch that.
Yeah, so they got stuck. They were in a Native American graveyard. A bolt of lightning struck all 5 men.
Charles Napier,
transporting them 87 years forward in time to 1986. Yeah,
dude.
Napier, yeah.
Richard Roundtree, Charles Napier, Rod Taylor, William Lucking. I love all these guys.
Wow.
I bet you couldn't find this sucker anywhere. Might even on a bootleg. I bet you. You never know.
Well,
I bet they didn't all air.
When
Linzer.
Probe comes out, right? Yeah.
Hey, Linzer. Yeah, but at least that aired.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They made more of that than Probe. That pisses me off.
Oh, let's see. I'm not seeing. Yep. Usually it shows like
What?
media. Media.
Zaccarat. It might be on YouTube, but I doubt it. Outlaws. You remember that too, Bob? Are you guys remembering it, or you just who remember? Because they're mentioning it. So
Oh, it's on the YouTube's actually. The pilot episode's on their YouTube. Full
wow.
2 hours. Yep.
Okay, Mr. Smarty Pants people. How about let's try another one with Rod Taylor again. But this is actually out on regular DVD, but it's still pretty rare. Does anyone remember the Bearcats? Let's see.
Let me add this to my watch later.
I want to watch that now. I remember watching the pilot, thinking that's cool. They're cowboys and they're what
They've
the
come.
hell?
Okay, corral, right? Yep.
Yeah. Boy, Rod Taylor was cool though.
Was
He
that
was
classic? I haven't seen it, but obviously that's that classic fish out of water story that always works so
Yes.
well. So,
1971, the Bearcats. What was that? The card, the Stutz Bearcat.
and I don't remember that one at all. Yep.
Well,
JD Lewis is saying his favorite sci-fi show was Search. I don't remember
which
that
one? Yeah, Search. That was the pilot was called. Well, was it really sci-fi? There was more like a kind of a spy type detective show. I'm just being picky. It was a sci-fi setup with.
Yeah.
If you, yeah. Oh well, there you go. All right, the Bearcats. Yep, Genesis 2. There we go. So the Bearcats. I've told you about this one before. I think it takes place at the turn of the century, and it's with one of the first cars. And these guys are just a couple of mercenaries that help people stuff, and they in their Stutz Bearcat. And it's very retro, very old fashioned. Rod Taylor. Wow, Henry Darrow was on a couple of them. Mainly just Rod Taylor and Dennis Cole.
Well, you can get Outlaws on DVD, but I don't know if it's one of those
You're
third party sites or yep, it ain't cheap. It's $45, but I don't know if how sometimes those sites they get the rights to the show and then make like DVDs made to order basically. So
wow, people are remembering
if you Google,
Outlaws. Cool.
I don't remember that one. Yep, I was too busy watching Magnum PI and the A-Team, maybe if they're still on, or Knight Rider. That's something I would have probably enjoyed watching if I.
Yeah, Renegade, my friend. If there was ever a show that was proper for its time and place, it was the perfect time for. I don't know, just seeing him running around with his shirt off didn't do it for me. I mean, it's that Lorenzo Lamas. I don't know. Did you like that show, Max? Or are you just kidding? Nothing wrong with it if you did. That was a syndicated show, Renegade.
I'm adding Outlaws to my TV shows to watch if I can find it. Yeah, I got a list that I keep. Yeah,
we talked about that a couple of times. Not too recently. Or fairly recently. Hungry Boy Adam Adamant. Yeah, that's cool. I've got to watch. I watched a few of those. Gotcha. The theme song. Nothing wrong with that. At least it had a theme song. Most don't now. And the only song with a really catchy theme song right now is Pissmaker.
I love that song. I can't get that song out of my mind.
And it was kind of funny that at the end that they put it on. They were playing it in the fight.
Yeah, they had to do that. Yeah, that was great. Yeah. And Eric K is saying, I watched, face it, I watched Fall Guy for Heather Thomas. I wrote back, yeah. And don't forget Marky Post. She appeared in the bikini in one episode. And it's like, wow, how come they weren't dressing her up
of what?
earlier? Marky Post and the Fall Guy was gorgeous. She's gorgeous. Yeah,
yeah.
Fall Guy.
Well, man, they had Heather Thomas there.
Yeah, but then one episode they had her come out. I don't know what the reason was in a bikini, and it was like, whoa, because they were always showing off Heather Thomas was always in this skimpy
She didn't
outfit.
start to the second season. Yeah, Joanne Flug was the first season.
Yeah,
and she was cute.
Yep.
You know who Joanne Flug is?
I mean, I watched the show, but I don't remember.
Well, she was his first the guy, his bounty got his bounty contacts lady. She did the voice of the Invisible Girl in the old Fantastic Four cartoon.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
Great trivia.
Let's see here. Useless trivia.
That was a fun
Okay.
show.
Search was more sci. Yeah, JD, I wasn't being pedantic on you there, but yes, it was kind of a sci-fi spy type show. We talked about Search a lot recently, though. It's again a buddy of mine, a friend of mine. That Search was his holy grail forever. Moved for years and years. He tried to scrimp and find his just an episode here and there. There were only like I guess maybe 20 or 30 of them. I can't remember. It only lasted a season, and back then they made a lot of episodes and had Hugh O'Brien and Doug McHugh and Burgess Meredith and not Tony. Was it Tony Franciosa or the other guy? I can't remember which one. And anyway, not Tony. I think it was Tony Franciosa. Maybe it was Tony and Franciosa. But anyway, it had they that's a weird thing about that show is they rotated main good guy, the main dude, so it wasn't just one guy the whole time, which was weird. But it was a cool show though, and it was an interesting concept, and eventually, I don't know, maybe 8-10 years ago now, or 10 or whatever, they finally put it out on DVD.
Yep, get it while you can.
They did a Total Recall TV show.
I remember Tech War. Did watch Tech War. Did that last
a
couple of seasons? That was Shatner's version. But Total Recall 27, was that like a TV version of
I don't remember
the short story or the
they did. I don't remember it. I don't doubt that there was one. I don't remember
Cleopatra 2020, whatever the heck. What was that show?
You know who was on that one? My girl, Gina. Gina Torres, that is.
Yep.
From Firefly.
Yep.
Zoe from Firefly. Palmy. Well, who didn't like Night Court? We love that. It was a great show.
Yeah.
Total Recall had nothing to do with the movies. Okay. I don't know that one then. Pop culture, you got me, man.
Here it is. Here's the.
Yes, Dave Bob, you have no excuse not to remember Search and Bearcats. So let me know if you do.
Yeah, so it was made in Canada. Total Recall 2070.
Okay, I never seen it. Never heard of it.
Yeah, never heard of it. Yeah, so it said it's loosely based on it's based on Philip K. Dick's stories, I guess. So, but
yeah. So
it's
was a Max there. So I never heard of that one. I think I think they should tear down Grauman's Chinese theater in Hollywood and put up a giant statues of Stephen J. Cannell and Donald Bellisario. Well, why not? Why not? Yep, I knew you would there, Dave.
Simon and Simon. That's another show we've mentioned a few times. That's one of my favorites. Yep.
D-Bud. Oh, yeah. Well, hold that thought on that one because I do want to talk about that because we didn't talk about it last time. It's funny you should mention that Barbary Coast was put out a few years ago. Again, that friend I'm telling you about, couldn't wait to get that one. Of course, I don't know if you've seen it. It was William Shatner. It was one season. Shatner was like, you've seen Wild Wild West, haven't you? Have you seen Wild Wild West, Mark?
Not in a while. Sorry, I was just texting back.
Well, Shatner was
Steve Mitchum. Yep.
He was like the Artemis Gordon of that show. He was a master of disguise, and Barbary Coast takes place in the early late 1800s or early 1900s, whatever it is. But Shatner's on it, and it was pretty cool. It only lasted 20-something episodes. I don't know if I wouldn't call that a Western necessarily, D-Bud, not to go pedantic on you, but I did watch some of those with him. It was interesting to see that. World Made of Cardboard says, my TV viewing, Knight Rider, Airwolf, Street Hawk, Space 1999, Blake Seven, Red Dwarf, Blackadder, and Doctor Who. I am with you there, bro. I mean, especially with a few of those. I love Red Dwarf and Blake Seven and Doctor Who and Blackadder. And and the others totally respect there with you with Space 1999. I haven't watched Street Hawk since it first came on a little bit, but got a buddy of mine that's obsessed with that show, and Airwolf and Blue Thunder, the TV show as well, and Knight Rider. And
Airwolf,
doesn't that kind of follow? It's a different buddy than the one I was talking to you about that comes over with.
Okay.
This buddy though, does it make sense? Because he loves Street Hawk, Airwolf, Blue Thunder, the TV show, and Knight Rider. Is there you seeing a pattern there?
I see a pattern there. Great vehicles, right? Yep.
He likes vehicles. Magnum PI was a great show, but Simon and Simon had a crossover with him.
Yeah. That's right. They did. Yep. I had started rewatching that. I kind of stalled with watching Blake's and Star Trek and,
Yeah.
and all the other shows going, but yeah, they did. So it was the same universe, and
Yeah,
it's fun to
and
start.
also Murder She Wrote.
Oh,
Magnum
that's right.
crossed
Yeah,
over
they
with
did.
that
Yeah,
too.
yep. Because I do have all the episodes to view, and it's they either split them up or they noted in like some of the things, they included the other episode, because otherwise you can't watch the show all the way through.
Wasn't that kind of a cheat though? He barely really met him that for very long.
Yeah, but it's just a fun little thing to have there, and of course the new Magnum.
Why you keep mentioning that?
Well, I do.
There is
I
no
did
new
like
Magnum.
I did like the interaction between the guys and all the veterans, and that they did.
Wait, you actually watched it?
Yeah, I did watch.
Now I'm really mad at you.
So kick me in the shins. But
Shin kick.
The one part they did get right was the camaraderie between the guys and their bonding over being in war, and then there was a disabled vet that they were helping, and there were some good moments. But what they really ruined was having Magnum and of course they gender swapped the Great British Higgins, and
So
now of course
stupid.
it's a girl that was in the SAS.
Garbage.
And she looks like, God bless her, but she looks like she weighs
Robin
100.
Masters?
Yes, 100 pounds. Well, no, there is a Robin Masters who wrote novels, but
Okay.
it's clearly a different character. So that was always the great, spoiler alert.
Idiots.
In the first Magnum, you think the whole series you're watching, you think that Higgins could be Robin Masters,
Yep.
and then at the end he did say he was in one episode, but then they kind
He said he
of
wasn't.
went back. Then they said he wasn't, but you're still always left
Yeah.
guessing.
He said it when he thought Magnum was dying. Remember?
Yeah, and so you never know. You're left doubting, but I'm pretty sure that he was Robin Masters. I think
He was Robin Masters. Damn it.
Yeah, yeah. But so they kind of, and they always add, the love. It's like moonlighting. Like the show was ruined once they got together. It's like you always have to have that tension. So then, Magnum is in the new show is with Higgins. Every time I see him say, I just picture, what was the actor's name?
Is he banging her?
Yeah, on the show he is. Yeah,
They still make this shit. This shit
It's
is
been
still
like-
on the air.
I think like 4 or 5 seasons. Yeah.
How can this shit last?
Well, people are watching it. Yeah.
Why? Stop watching it, people. What do I have to
Yeah.
do? Come to your house and turn the channel? Come on.
Yeah, Chris Persia, the female Higgins isn't even 80 pounds soaking wet. I don't, God bless her. And I wish I could lose some weight, but yeah, she's definitely not, because then she's throwing around guys and
Of course.
that
It
kind
is
of stuff
2022. That's not her fault.
Yeah.
Still good.
yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I don't blame that. And the guy is a nice guy. I mean, but I mean, he's not. You can't replace. It's like, can you ever have another actor be Captain Kirk or
No.
Spock or McCoy? I mean, they could cast someone, and some people might say they like him, but it's just not the same. As much as I
Max,
would love to have Star Trek. It's like, yeah.
Dude, Max just summed it up beautifully for me right here. You said it all, Max. I hate the new Magnum. I've never watched a single episode. I feel zero hypocrisy. Yeah, Max Redstone for the night. Boom, wins the night with that one, folks. Exactly. I hate every single just on general principle that you would make that filth. Leave the damn show alone. If this Magnum is sacred, no, it's really not. Other things are more sacred than that to me. Don't get me wrong, folks. I like Magnum a lot. It's just such a dumb idea to make it. It's just pointless. Just do your own thing. I'm just so sick of remakes. And look, people like that new Hawaii Five-0 show. I like the old show enough. I don't care about this new one. I just look at a remake and go, I would never be interested in that kind of crap.
I watched a little bit. It was okay.
I'm not married to
but it was-
McGarrett or anything, but I don't need to
Yeah.
see it again.
It was okay, but it's nothing like, it's totally different show than the original. But
But they
the
use
guy,
the names, don't they?
yeah, they use the name. I know. I mean, I guess they're just, it's like, you're right. Come up with a new show, and the theme. God, that theme is so great. But the actors were pretty good in that show, but it's not the same thing. So, and of course, you had the girl from Battlestar, the new Battlestar Galactica was one of the characters on that show too. She was pretty good. Grace Park, and then you had Scott Kahn was actually really good on that show. So, but it's a different. It's almost like if you look at it, it's like, oh, just say it's like a totally different thing. You know, it's
Yeah.
its own universe. It doesn't, kind of doesn't exist. But it's I can see why people,
Excuse me.
we're just sick of the remakes. It's like,
It's just
come
so
up with something,
stupid.
do something new. It's like, why are you doing, or
Agreed,
just
Dave
make,
Bob.
or just do it like in Hawaii, but don't do the same characters. Like say it's, I don't know, Hawaii, Sixo, I don't know, but why are you, doing the same characters again? So that's the real problem. So
Tom Selleck, exactly. F all that crap. Was it? There was one. Um, 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 oh, here we go. World Made of Cardboard. My mother loved that show. Meaning, Murder She Wrote.
oh yeah.
And got mad when I suggested Angela was a serial killer framing everyone for her murders.
That's hysterical.
That's what I wanted to see. Nothing's
That's
remakeable
awesome.
to me. Max, again, I don't even hold Magnum. It's not in my top 25 all favorite shows, but I really thought it was a great show. There are a lot of great. I don't hold it sacred, nor do I hold Hawaii 5-0 sacred. It's just it rubs me every time I see a remake of one of those types of shows that was so identifiable and ingrained with that lasted. By the way, not like it lasted 5 weeks. It lasted over a decade. Both of those shows, and when I see that, I see it's sickening to me. Some remakes, I'll go, well, whatever. But when it's something that's a show that had that much of a stake and it was that huge, and then you remake it, it's like, what are you doing? Why? Nothing you do will matter. Now, a lot of people like this Hawaii 5-0 remake. I don't give a shit about it. I'm not offended. Doesn't hurt me.
It's off the air now,
But it's just, I just don't get it. But it is somehow Magnum feels worse. Somehow doing it to Magnum.
Well, the show got
worse.
Got worse, I think too. It was, I watched it because I just watch everything, and some of the episodes, like, oh, these were okay, but you never have that Tom Selleck charm. I mean, it's just, and then when they went off, when they put Higgins and Magnum together, it's like, come on, really? I was hoping, like, Higgins' father would show up as like a crusty old English guy, and like then it would turn, then they could have flipped it that way, where it was, actually have a Higgins or pretending to be,
Look,
but,
if it had been a continuation with people from his family, with his son or doing some of the same, I could respect that more.
Yeah.
And so I'm just not into it.
Well, the other show, speaking of Michael, I love Highway to Heaven. That was a good, I like that show.
Yeah,
speaking of those Sunday night,
was terrible.
Sunday
you liked
night,
Highway to Heaven?
Yeah, I liked Highway to Heaven, or like we'd always watch Touched by an Angel. You're talking about those CBS, Sunday night,
right?
Quote unquote,
religious shows.
Religious shows, yeah.
But they were popular. They were big now.
And then some of them were pretty good shows. But Highway to Heaven, I always like Michael Landon a lot.
I always called those grandma shows.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. No, everybody's grandma watched Murder She Wrote. Everybody's grandma watched. Was it Having? What was it again?
Well, Touched by an Angel was one.
No, yeah, but the one with Michael Landon again.
Highway to Heaven.
Highway to Heaven. Everybody's grandmother watched Matlock.
Yep.
And I mean, I like Matlock. I'm just saying, Matlock. Okay, can we? My buddy I keep telling you about all the time with all the DVDs. Do you know? I've ever told you about our Matlock argument.
What are you getting an argument about?
I gotta go. Oh, it's 20. Oh, okay. World Made of Cardboard in Texas. All right, buddy. Thank you so much.
No, that's bad.
It's coming my way. Well, we've got crappy weather here. Like it's all muggy and crap in the 80s today in the next couple of days. But I hate it. I want some cool weather again. But take care of yourself and warm up, buddy.
Yep. Okay. Be safe. Be safe. Yep.
The Matlock argument, folks. All right. A very good friend of mine. In case you hear this, you know who you are. Because he listens sometimes. I tell you about him sometimes. He's the one that brings before all the coof crap started, when he would come here to visit like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times a year from where he lives up north. He's from here. He'd come a couple times, 2 or 3 times over the course of a holiday or whatever, 4 times, and we would come over and he would bring this big box of DVDs, and he buys just about every old classic TV show you can imagine the cool ones, the detective
Yeah.
ones, the sci-fi ones, all the same stuff we love. And he buys the obscure ones. He brings a big old Amazon. First of all, we can't. It would take us 8 years to watch just what's in that box alone.
You can't.
But
Yeah.
we have a lot to choose from, and sometimes it takes forever to choose. But so you want to watch? Well, he of course, like myself, is a big fan of Andy Griffith and the Andy Griffith Show.
Yep.
But for years and years and years, when we would talk back when Matlock was on the air, he would get mad, not mad at me. We would argue with me for making fun of Matlock. Because I say the show's so ridiculous. And it's just entertainment, and it is funny because Andrew Griffith is fantastic. But every episode, this is what happens. This is Matlock every episode, folks. Good night, JD Lewis. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it.
Take care, JD.
Every week, somebody commits a murder. No, excuse me. Somebody is accused of committing a murder who did not do it, and they hire Matlock. And Matlock proceeds to bring them to court to find out who really killed the guy and get that person off to solve the real murder in one episode.
Yeah.
Not 2-3 years of a murder trial. Each murder trial lasts one episode, and he always ends up nailing the bad guy, and his client never did it. Except, and I was teasing about this. No, there was one. Finally, he got me. There was one where it turned out that he had a guilty client. And so Matlock ended up tricking the guy to confess and said, well, wait a minute, he can't do that.
He's his lawyer. He can't do that.
He's his lawyer. He can't do that shit. It's a TV show. But I go, yeah, but the thing is, Matlock that means he's got how many episodes? Hundreds of episodes, just like Perry Mason. There can't, no lawyer could have that many murder trials going on. But it's
and he got paid a lot of money too, right? For didn't he always get paid a lot of money for
Griffith
his cases? Yeah, and Matlock.
Matlock, no, he didn't do it for pro bono sometimes and shit. I don't know. It was like a funny show. Look, I love Andy Griffith.
He's such a great actor. Everyone loves him. Yeah, so
it was kind of ridiculous.
Well, that's what that we were saying before about the Angela Lansbury. She was framing it for one. Yeah,
Perry Mason was kind of like that too, though.
Yeah, Chris Burgess said, if Jessica's in a serial killer, how come there are 274 murders in her sleepy little town of 3,500 people?
That's a murder capital, man. There are a lot of murder. And that's one thing, Monk was a great show. At least he was in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Where they have the most creative murderers who ever lived. I love Monk.
And hail to Mrs. Dadman. She says, I kind of like the simplicity of Matlock and Murder, She Wrote. Yeah, they're always good, good shows to watch. I'm
goofing on them.
Yeah, we're goofing on them in a good way. Like, Grandma or Mom would say, it's time to watch Murder, She Wrote. And it was Sunday night, and that's what was on. So,
wow.
There was no, you're watching that.
He met a man who met Andy Griffith.
Wow. That's pretty awesome.
Crabapple Cove, Maine. That's where Hawkeye is from. Hawkeye Pierce is from Crabapple Cove, Maine, and there were no murders there. So I'm just goofing on it but it's just like do you know Andy Griffith, who I think was a genius and brilliant? He had a lot of failed shows. After the Andy Griffith Show, it became Mayberry RFD for a while, and the show finally died out.
That's right. Yeah,
he tried many shows. One of my favorites, of course, that didn't last was Salvage 1. Have you seen Salvage 1?
I haven't seen. I must have seen that.
That'd be up your alley, man. You'd love Salvage.
I did. I think I did see a couple. I mean, it's been 40 years probably since. When was it on? In the 70s or early 80s?
79 or 80, somewhere up in there.
Yeah. So I remember. I think I remember watching because I love anything with space. So yeah. So he was making.
That finally came out.
He's a garbage
DVD.
guy.
Yeah.
He was the first Elon Musk, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't rich or anything. Like, he's just a garbage man. He was able to make a.
But in terms of making your own rocket, yeah.
He was going to go to the moon and bring out back all that stuff from the moon.
The salvage,
and then have other episodes where he did some other stuff. It didn't last long. I saw that when it first came on network, and I'm going, wow, Andy Griffith, I'm there, boom, and it was really good. And it's actually on. They had just the pilot for a while. We bought some bootlegs, but then I think Warner Archive or somebody put them out. And it didn't last long, but it was a cool show.
Yep. No, it was fun. And Andy Griffith is so popular and
likable.
lovable,
Yeah,
likable
but
guy. Yeah,
he made a bunch of TV movies where he played a bad guy. I can't wrap my head around it.
yeah.
Now,
Just,
he was in a
I
movie
hate to
called
see it.
Face in the Crowd before Andy Griffith and before No Time for Sergeants, where he played an evil, a bad guy, and it was like an Oscar-worthy performance. Everyone said so. Great actor. But after
Yeah.
the Andy Griffith show, I can't watch him being a bad guy. Although he was hilarious in Rustler's Rhapsody. Did you see that?
No.
How about The Return to Mayberry? Did you see that?
Oh God, probably not. But who knows? Who knows?
They made a
if it's in
TV movie and they were all in
memory
it.
banks. Yeah,
They had a TV movie and everybody's in it, but I guess Aunt B, she was already gone.
already gone. Yeah.
But yes, he was in Rustler's Rhapsody. And he said things that I could never would have come out of Andy Griffith's mouth. Yeah, Peter Columbo was great, man. Oh God, there's another one.
Yeah. Quincy was another favorite TV show I love. Jack Klugman.
Did you ever want to see Columbo once just get in a car chase or a shootout or have to fight his way out of something? I'm kidding, but he never pulled a gun, did he? Did Columbo ever pull a gun? I know someone here will know about it.
Probably not, right?
Kojak, yeah, who loves you, baby? I bet he did, but I doubt he got in any car chases. when
we had that old Peugeot, didn't they have that old Peugeot or the French car? Yep.
When Columbo got done with it, he just said, "Oh, to hell, these aggravated shit. I mean, please take me to jail. Please excuse me, sir. I know you're about to go to jail because I just nailed your ass for murder. But can I ask you just one more question? No, please, God, no, just kill me now." Yeah. He never teamed. How come they didn't have a team up of a crossover Columbo and Kojak? Or Columbo and Starsky and Hutch? Columbo and Beretta. And don't get me started on Quincy. Somebody mentioned Quincy earlier.
Yeah, I love Quincy. Yeah.
Why was the coroner solving murders and shit?
Why not? Because we love Jack Klugman.
Why? Is that your reason? Seriously?
That's my reason. I'm sticking with it.
It's murder.
Because Felix Unger was screwing everything else up. Yeah.
He's like, wait a minute. Just take the body, do your shit to the bodies and get out. It was how many the coroner? Even as a kid, I was like, wait a minute, does the guy mess him? The coroner investigate shit. Right. Again, I like the show, everyone. I'm just having fun. I like Quincy, and I love Jack Klugman. He's great. He was great on a couple Twilight Zone episodes, man. Ooh. He was in one of my favorite Twilight Zone episodes. One of those hour episodes that are called Death Ship. Not only that the hour episodes were great of Twilight Zone for the fourth season, which they were all 1 hour, but that was a great one. They used the Forbidden Planet C-57D ship for that one. Death Ship. Jack Klugman, brilliant in that episode. Dave, hello there, Dave. Dave as in Dave Lopan. Look, he's David Lopan.
Yep.
You are not put on this world to get it, Mr. Burton. This really pisses me off to no end. I love David Lopan. I love that movie. All right, Dave Bob. Good night, brother.
Take care, Dave Bob.
Good night, my buddy. Thank you for stopping in, bro.
Well, John Doe. Yeah, John Doe was pretty good too. I think I used to watch that. It was Dominic Purcell, the guy. He is the from Prison Break, I think. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then he was super. He was like a super genius. He was kind of like a genetically engineered. This is my.
Okay. I've heard of it, but I never watched it.
It was actually pretty good because he's a good actor. So it was. I'm trying to think of. He had pop culture. Let us know, but I think he had some kind of superpowers, or that's where like memory, like he had perfect memory, and then his character would always change, almost like a the DC character that would change his look. And who was the character that could always change his look and appearance all the time and go undercover? Oh God, what was? Let's see. I'm googling.
You talking about a detective or something?
No, well, let's see. Let me do John Doe here, but it was.
Yes, Mrs. Dadman and Sledgehammer,
Oh, I
hilariously,
love Sledgehammer.
and Police Squad's one of the greatest things in the history of the human condition. I love it. John Doe, he woke up with no memory of who he was, but had knowledge of everything. Yeah.
That's what. All right, thank you. Yeah. See, I'm forgetting what. Yeah, so you didn't. Yeah, that was he was trying to figure out who he was, but he was kind of like a Jason Bourne in terms of his skills. I think. Uh, he was kept finding out almost like that show. What was the show with the girl covered in tattoos?
Dragon.
That's Dragon.
Hunter
Yeah,
over.
no. But the it was a TV show with the girl who played Lady Sif and Thor.
Yeah, something. I don't know what you're talking. I mean, I know what you're talking about,
Yeah,
but I never watched it.
yeah. So he's always trying to find out. Trying to find out. You've got total amnesia, but all kinds of great, all kinds of skills. So it was a fun. Yeah, it was a fun show. But it ended with a cliffhanger in the 21st episode. So, but it was really well done. I thought. Yep.
I guess we talked about. I don't know if we mentioned before. We talked about The Pretender.
That's what I was maybe thinking of. It was kind of like The Pretender, maybe.
I love The Pretender. The Pretender was a really cool show, and at least we got 4 years out of it.
Yeah, it was a little bit like The Pretender.
Blind
I
Spot.
think. Yeah, Blind Spot. Thank you. Yep, thank you, Mrs. Dadman. And Mrs. Dadman's a huge movie and TV collector of physical media. Yep. So she's always yep, she's got all the physical media and always working to organize that collection and finding stuff. And that's the fun thing too with some of these. If you go to like thrift shops or things, sometimes you can find DVDs or Blu-rays that I found a bunch of really good stuff there, and some of the shops and for good prices too, and you can complete your collection that way.
Oliver says after watching the Starman TV series, the Twilight Zone was next. I remember Starman, the series, and with Robert Hayes. I think. Let's see here. Twilight Zone was next. Clobby, Mark D. Which Twilight Zone intro was better, the classic or the '80s intro? For me, it's no contest. It's the classic. I mean, I like the '80s show. There were some real good episodes of the Twilight Zone from the '80s. I'll admit, but it's nowhere near in a class with the Rod Serling original for me personally. Oliver.
Yeah, it's tough to. I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, of course, having the intro in color and but there's nothing like those old classic black and white, and just both are fantastic intros because they pull you right into the show, and you've got that long theme song, which is great. And another, of course, Outer Limits is another great series, and I love the reboot of the Outer Limits. Some of those episodes were fantastic too. So, and they did some episodes that were actually tied together in that anthology series, which is pretty wild. So there's some really chilling episodes. Of course, you got to say that the originals are the best, but an anthology series like that, you can just kind of take that spirit and go with it and have some great sci-fi. Unfortunately, don't watch the new Twilight Zone on CBS. The first season was a horrible disaster. The second season had like one or two episodes of a season there was an episode about octopuses. How do you say octopuses or octopi? Octopuses taking over the world, or like in one of the few episodes that was.
It was called Hentai, folks.
Yeah, and maybe one other episode in that second season that was semi-watchable, but it was just the first season was just an utter disaster.
Filth infested trash.
Oh,
I'll never
so
watch it.
bad.
How can you watch anything after seeing that first?
Because I just like being able to talk about stuff.
Stop doing it, man.
Stop. The one about the show with the octopus was decent though, because now they're if you're watching the new Sci-Fi Resident Alien, there's Nathan Fillion is voicing an octopus that the main Nathan Alan Tudyk rescues from a restaurant who's going to be cooked, I guess, because the octopuses are all they're super intelligent but choose not to talk to us. So
Mrs. Dadman, I'm glad you've seen the show. I love it. I agree. The Pretender movies, they weren't very good. They were disappointing, but it was a great show. Pop culture says more recent TV show throwing this out there. Burn Notice. That was a great show. I need to finish up the last couple seasons, but the first couple seasons I saw and it was really good. I like that show a lot. Really, really good. Burn Notice. I don't know if you ever seen that one.
Haven't seen that. Nope.
You haven't? That was a cool show.
Nope. Like
Also,
that,
Burn Notice was good, and yeah, I saw the first season of White Collar, Mrs. Dadman. I thought that was pretty good too. Let's see here. Hungry Boy says 80s Twilight Zone was bland, no edge. I mostly agree with that, but there were a couple of episodes I really did like. I like the Harlan Ellison Saturday. I like a few other ones, but it is not even in the same universe for me anyway. Hungry Boy than the Rod Serling classic.
I think Outer Limits was much better if you can compare reboots. I really
Yeah.
enjoy that Outer Limits
Yeah, it's
reboot.
okay.
There's
Really?
some great
Yeah,
stuff.
you told me about that before.
There's some good episodes in there.
Well, yeah, you've told me about it before. I mean, I don't know. I've seen some of them, but you know me, I will.
Yeah. Well, you can actually what? I think they're all available on
you know me. I never
different
take time
services.
to watch anything anymore.
Yeah, but they're out there if you want to watch them. But I'll give you a couple episodes to watch. You can, and you don't have to watch them. I might slightly suggest you watch them. You let me know what you think. That's always fun. Yep. But there were a few episodes. One with of course he's in Peacemaker now. I think that was the actor in that. There was some great alien. It was a bottle episode, but a fighter pilot gets captured and he's in captivity with another human. And they're fighter pilots, and just the whole dynamic there. It's just the trying to see his spy dynamic, and it was such a great twist. I can't say anything because it's such a great twist in the episode, but it's
Eric agrees
so
with you.
good.
Eric agrees with you, by the way.
Yeah.
Dave says, let's see. Found some old comics of mine at my uncle's house. Went on vacation in November. Amazing Spider-Man number 12. Wow. Peacemaker number 1. Meaning the old Charlton one or the or what? The later one from the DC. And Batman 330. That probably means the Charlton.
That's awesome.
Some Bronze Age and some silver and bronze there. Dave, excellent stuff. Hope they were in nice shape. Excellent. Let's see. Max. Yeah, I agree with Max. There were some good ones on that one, but yeah. Well, everyone, I guess we've been here for a good while tonight, and I want to thank you for hanging out with us on Wildcard Wednesday night. Let me see here. Let me put the I gotta go get it yet. I forgot. I moved it. Sorry, I wasn't having problems with my
technical difficulties.
Yeah, just this computer's slow.
Yeah.
You know that.
Computer.
Hello, computer. All right, let's see here. I was trying to get Raquel's link, and it was going wrong. Everyone, thank you so much, though. Really appreciate you being here with us tonight. There's, of course, the link for our wonderful first officers' fine works. Let's see. Show notes. First of all, what you got going on, Mark?
Well, I've had a bunch of new videos out lately. I was trying to get one out today, but I'll get it out tomorrow, probably on Thunderstrike. And just appreciate everyone watching and watch. I think I'm 5 away from 200. Not that you're supposed to look at those metrics,
no,
but
exactly.
anyone hasn't subbed, it's a cycle. Raquel is 100% right in there, but it'd be fun to get to that 200. But yeah, it's appreciate everyone watching, and just look at my channel for some toy reviews, and as Eric says, the toy man of YouTube. But but I love love being able to share all that stuff from my collection, and I've actually been posting some of those clips too from that I was sending you to play on Star Trek. So those fun little clips. I figured why not just post them on YouTube too. So those have been getting some fun views, like Worf taking a mud bath. Why not? And Sunday night, of course, Sunday Night Geekery. You're usually there, and great Steve Mitchum, and we had Scuba Pete there, and Courtney from Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs last week. Of course, Pat S. and the Dad Man. So looking forward to another Sunday night Geekery.
Well, everyone, show notes are as follows. Tomorrow night, same Clobby time, same Clobby channel. Clobby's Clubhouse with our wonderful First Officer Commander R.M. Briggs and our great Chief Engineer, the aforementioned, sitting right here, Mark D with AC.
Thank you.
9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Then Saturday night. Oh, and then the next couple of days, some more spinner rack. We get the rest of my spinner rack machine videos out. So one tomorrow, and then two the next couple of days before the month ends to get those all done before I start doing them all over again. For some reason, Saturday night Star Trek. Saturday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. 4 more episodes from the 5th season of Star Trek: The Next Generation. And again, the aforementioned Sunday night geekery over at Mark D's channel. I will be there if I'm always, if I can be, I will be there. But whether I'm there or not, you should be there.
Yeah, thank you.
Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. Back to the old time of 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is Superman's birthday. The Clobberin Times annual Superman birthday bash. But we're going to bash Superman. No, just kidding. We're going to love him. And so it'll be all things super. Talking about the greatest superhero of them all. Yep. And then in 1 week from tonight, we will use the wild card to have a topic. The great Nick, with 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser, will join me to review Frank Miller and Dave Mazzucchelli's masterpiece, Daredevil Born Again, on the Clobby's classic comic review. Once again, next time I see him pop in, I'll tell him, but thank you, Snail Messiah. You're too kind. Thank you, Apollome's Minion. You were too kind for those wonderful gifts. I really appreciate you. And thank you all for being here tonight. The great Eric K., the Bronze Wrencher. Of course, the other great wrencher, Chris Persia, was here. Hungry Boy, thank you so much. Dadman and Mrs. Dadman, the wonderful Dadman clan, thank you. Pop Culture Republic, thank you for being here. Let's see here. Who else was here? Who else is here? Zacharot, Dave, thank you. Oliver Belamonte, Max Redstone, buddy. I'm trying to remember as many people as I can, folks. The Comic Relief Crusader popped in earlier. Zathras popped in earlier.
Was Sherry here tonight?
Yes, the lovely Sherry. Thank you. Lovely Sherry. We love you. Thank you so much. The great Dave Bob was here. This thing actually retains, I'm told it retains the whole chat now. I don't know if it's true on StreamYards.
They upgraded it?
I've heard someone say that on the stream tonight. Don't hold me to it, but
yep.
JD Lewis, buddy, World Made of Cardboard, thank you. I backtrack as much as I possibly can, everyone. Apollo was here, but I think I said Apollo already. Anyone else that I may have mentioned, I want to thank you all. I appreciate you all being here. You have all been fantastic, and I hope we see you tomorrow night with the Trinity. So until then,
looking forward to that. Yep.
Yes, indeed. Until then, everyone, thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your night. And clobber on, clobberers. The secret is to bang the rocks together, guys. Good night.